This podcast is brought to you by Life Strength and Health. Life Strength and Health is a wellness center that provides holistic health coaching so that we help our clients unlock optimal health with our personalized approach to gut health. To learn more about us, just visit our website at lifestrengthandhealth.com. This is episode number 321 of the Life Strength and Health podcast. I'm Kim and I'm joined with Jamal.
Greetings, everyone.
And
Peace and blessings.
Yes, and thank you for joining us this episode. The sponsor of today's episode is Oos, and Oos is a new card game with ancient African art and culture. It's similar to Uno, but it's a whole other spin to it. They're actually in their pre-order phase, and they need 1,000 orders to move forward. To learn more about the card game, go to mezurockcreations.com and pre-order your deck today. We are actually a part of the Oos team, so we've had the opportunity to get our hands on an early deck, and we can guarantee you that playing Oos, you will have hours of weekly fun. So go to mezurockcreations.com and pre-order your deck today. So now let's segue into today's episode. And in episode 319, Jamal and I shared that we are revamping our podcast and we're going to be introducing weekly segments or themes each week. And if you haven't had a chance to check out their podcast, just go to lifestrengthandhealth.com/319 to get caught up with that episode. So the theme of this episode is going to be centered around a healthy gut related topic. And today we're going to be discussing another all-time favorite, which is pasta. Don't worry, we're not coming for your pasta. Well, kinda. Pasta is one of those foods that either you love it or you don't. Most people I know do love pasta. I know for myself growing up, pasta was something that we had every once in a while, but not until I became an adult and, I was trying other foods, especially when I became plant-based. Pasta was something that was heavily in my rotation of foods. It was delicious, it was quick, it was inexpensive. So I found myself eating a lot of pasta.
Yeah, it was different for me growing up. Pasta was serious. Mom's was a great cook, so special occasions she was making those stuffed baked shells.
Oh,
She
wow.
was making lasagna. At
Yeah,
least
I had lasagna growing
yeah,
up, but that
at
was like
least
holidays and stuff.
at least like once or twice a month she was making the spaghetti and meatballs. She was killing that. Then my pops made he was killing the baked ziti, and then playing sports the night before the games they would have us carb up, so a lot of times we was having pasta. So I definitely grew
You
up
was
with
getting
some
it in.
some sacred feelings with pasta. So I understand why people love it so much. It's a serious comfort food.
As I mentioned earlier, today isn't about the dangers of pasta, but it's more about highlighting the best pasta to incorporate into your diet.
Yeah, but before we jump into alternatives, we're not going to go super hard on pasta, but at the same time, it is important to highlight that traditional pasta is made from wheat and does contain wheat gluten. And that's one of the things that we talk about in regards to it stressing your gut out overall, spiking your blood sugar levels. It can lead to insulin resistance if you have it too much, and it's fattening. It can lead to weight gain if you're having too much pasta. So it is something that unfortunately needs to be regulated in a society where we're overstarched. We have way too many carbohydrates. So it is good to look at some alternatives and just kind of discuss some of the things that are out there.
As I mentioned, pasta is one of those things that most people enjoy. And it's one of those foods where you can love pasta, but it certainly doesn't love you back, right? And over the years, they've tried to make alternative pastas, and some have been better than others. So now we want to talk about some common alternatives. The first one is whole wheat or multi-grain pasta.
Yeah, and we've been taught commercially from a health perspective that, if it's white, it ain't right, and you want to look for something brown, And when we hear brown, we see brown, we think that it's healthier. But when we're talking about like the whole grain and whole wheat pastas, they have the whole grain to them, and those are actually harder for your body to digest. So you're looking at the brown, you're looking at the fiber, and you're thinking that it's better for you, but it's actually more disruptive to your gut because when you're looking at the regular white pasta, that's just the derm, it's just the middle part. So the outer part that's harder to digest has been stripped away. So I would say that the regular white pasta is actually better than the wheat and whole grain pastas.
The next alternative is the gluten-free pasta.
Now, a lot of times when you see gluten-free pasta, it's usually made from either white rice or brown rice. So it's like you're what do they say, jumping out of the frying pan into the fire, right? It's pretty much the same thing. You know, you're having another grain and you're having something else that is going to spike your blood sugar levels.
And the next pasta alternative is quinoa and corn pasta.
So it might not have gluten in it, but it's still a little disruptive to your gut and it's still a grain, right? So we're still back to grains again when it comes to pasta. I will say that it is a better alternative than the other ones, but it still has its set of problems.
And the final common alternative pasta is pasta made from legumes, so a lentil or a bean pasta.
Right. And one of the things you hear us talking about when it comes to gut health are those two main gut disruptors, which are legumes and grains, right? So we spoke about these pastas that are made from the grains, and then we have the alternatives where they're being made from either lentils or beans, which also, if it's not processed and cooked properly, those can also be disruptive to your gut, unfortunately. And those can also spike your blood sugar levels depending on how it's made overall.
Because of the nature of what Jamal does, he spends a lot of time at the grocery store studying product ingredient lists because he constantly makes meal plans and nutritional plans for our clients. And an ongoing joke between myself and our daughter, Saora, who's 14 years old now, is Jamal can never just go in the store and come out because if he goes in the store and says, "Okay, I'll be right back," if you go in the store and try to find him, he's picking up products and he's always looking at the ingredient list, checking things out, finding new products. And like that's like an ongoing joke in our family.
Yeah, to be honest, I get on my own nerves with that because, like, I can't even help it. And a lot of times I don't even want to go because I know I'm going to get caught up in there. I know that if it's real quick, I'm not the one. Even when I try to make it really quick, I can't help but to just turn something over and take a good glance at it because a lot of times one year I'll look and see a list of ingredients and then I look 6 months later or a year later and the ingredients are completely different.
Right.
And a lot of times people are thinking they got this time tested great product that is no longer that great. So to me, the grocery store is like a minefield. You don't know what you're gonna get. So I constantly have to look.
So, one of the motivating factors for us discussing pasta in this episode is because Jamal was recently at the grocery store and he came across a pasta alternative. Now, we're not sponsored by this company or affiliated with this company at the airing of this show, but this is our recommended alternative to pasta. It's by a company called Soli, and they offer a green banana pasta and a spaghetti squash pasta.
Yeah, when I saw this, I was impressed. To be honest with you, I was impressed because it was organic, and these are two separate products that they offer. By the way, one is the green banana pasta. I'm sure a lot of people are making a face like like, "What the heck is that?" It sounds disgusting.
Uh,
That's probably what some of you are doing.
like, I
Um,
pass. I'm good.
so they have, green banana pasta, and they have spaghetti squash pasta. First of all, the first thing that I was impressed by was just the idea of it. Just the simple idea that, someone decided to do a non-grain, non-bean pasta. That
Mhm.
got my attention first. And the second thing that got my attention was the fact that it was organic, right? So, I'm not saying organic is perfect, but it is better. It is better than a lot of stuff that's out there. So it was organic, right? So that let me know, okay, this is worth turning over and checking it out. And then when I started to read the ingredients, I was very impressed because when I read the green banana pasta ingredients, it was one ingredient, and that was green banana pasta. And then when I read the spaghetti squash pasta list, it was only one ingredient, and that was spaghetti squash. And when it comes to the quality and the purity of a product, the less ingredients, the better. So the fact that I only saw one ingredient by it, I was already impressed. Because the thing is, with a lot of our clients, they really miss a lot of those classic foods, and they need help transitioning, or they just want to have other options. So, people are always asking about the pasta. And
Yeah.
I can't in good faith recommend a lot of these pastas. The only one that I usually recommend is maybe the lentil pasta, depending on where you're at, right? But a lot of times I don't have an answer for that, right? But I finally got a real answer for that. So it was like we saw it and we had to get it and try it, right? So we figure, hey, let's try it on one of the world's most like serious critics when it comes to like
Our daughter.
food, like foods that's out there. Cause she likes the classic stuff. When
And
she
she
go to
will
her
let you
grandparents'
know if
house and
it's
things
not
like that,
working.
yeah, she gonna get that.
Mhm.
So, we had to bring it home for the taste test, make her some pasta with it and see how she accepted it.
Right, and she said it was good. If she was on this episode, she would say it was good. We actually put it in a soup we made.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, we made a soup, and
right.
we it was like a almost kind of like a homemade chicken stock soup with veggies, and we made it into like a chicken noodle soup by throwing up the pasta in there for
Right.
her.
And I actually tasted it as well, and
Yeah.
it was good. It didn't, you hear green banana is not the most, sexiest name for pasta, right?
Right.
But it does intrigue you to say like, "What?"
Right.
But in terms of gut health, like green banana, it does not feed the harmful bacteria.
Right, exactly.
So,
Yeah,
y-
they call it starch resistant. So it doesn't feed. Not only doesn't it feed the bad bacteria, it actually ferments in the gut and it feeds and contributes to the good bacteria, right? So it's actually a gut healthy food, green bananas. So you're not just getting an alternative. A lot of times with these alternatives, we'll get an alternative, but we don't get the alternate nutrition, So yeah, this is on the healthy side. And then with the spaghetti squash pasta, now you're getting squash in because it's literally the spaghetti squash. So now you're looking at a very low carb alternative because usually, even with all of the other alternative pastas and including the green banana pasta, it's higher in carbs. It's high in carbs, but a low carb option would be the spaghetti squash. So you got two really good options as an alternative to traditional pasta and all of the other alternative pastas out there that could be problematic.
and not only was the pasta delicious, but it also was quick to cook. I believe it took about less, like about, well, definitely less than 10 minutes, about 4 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah,
fast.
it's really dependent upon the consistency or the texture that you want your pasta or the dish you're gonna be using it with. But in terms of convenience, something quick and something delicious that is not going to set you back or harm your health, it's a win-win across the board.
Yeah, also let me say this. A lot of complaints that we get about the alternative pastas is that people just can't seem to get it right. A lot of times they'll say it came out really mushy and they're trying to cook it like traditional pasta and they don't like the consistency. You really got to catch it. Like for me, I start tasting it early to get it right.
Mhm.
You just have to do that. Um but yeah, it cooks fast and it cooks well. Also, you know what? Last thing that I'm gonna say is that I did reach out. I did reach out to the company to see if we could speak to someone, see if we can get someone on the show, the founder of it on the show, have a conversation with them about this and see what else they got on deck and just give any other insight that they might have. So we're waiting on them to get back to us and maybe we can get someone from the company on the show to talk about it.
That would be a great idea, to definitely have a founder share their story of why they created this product, because clearly they knew there was a need for this product, and that would be great to sit down and talk with them and, um, learn more about their company.
Yeah, I agree.
So that is the conclusion of this episode regarding pasta, and hopefully you receive some value from it. Before we go, eating healthy foods is very important, but sometimes you also need to supplement. And one of the ways that we offer high quality, top quality nutraceuticals and supplements to our client is through FullScript. FullScript is our online health dispensary that we utilize with our clients so that they can gain access to hundreds of high quality nutraceuticals, supplements, herbs, and personal care products. It's free to set up an account, and for your first order, you get 20% off. So to sign up for your free account or to learn more about FullScript, just go to lifestrengthandhealth.com/sign up. The show notes page for this episode is lifestrengthandhealth.com/321. That's lifestrengthandhealth.com/321. There you can access everything that we discussed in this episode. So once again, thank you for listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. And until next time, live healthier.
Yes, stay healthy, everyone. Peace and blessings.